of me. They be snapping, baby. Everybody wants a blast of magic.
I think the simple thing is to like go to the people who do it and like ask them. You know, it's just to talk about it. It's not a great deal to ask if you can ask for them. It's one of life's basic principles. You ask for the library to be open all night and you don't go and ask for a canteen to be open to feed people. I mean, I'd much rather sit and eat a burger than I would go sit in the library all night. And
the thing you've got to do if you get elected is to find whoever is in charge of that, sit them down and bring all the issues that students have brought to you, to whoever gets elected. Take them issues to the head of catering and basically don't leave the room with them until you've settled an argument that catering will get extended.
On the catering package, and I always remember Sundays, the issue of, well, what do we do for food on a Sunday because nothing's open? If the catering facilities, they're going in the hub, if we're getting a new shop in there, could the shop accept Unicards? Because that would solve a lot of problems. It's always been a problem of there's nothing open on Sunday except the shop. They don't accept my Unicard, they don't accept the money that I've already paid for to get my food. So if we could get Unicards in the shops, perhaps in the current one, if not in the new one that's going in the hub, I think that would solve a lot of problems.
Just last month had some conversations with Roy Forster, who's the catering manager on campus, and Michael Richmond, who's the executive chef who works mostly in the terrace. And they've agreed that they are going to extend the catering hours. The main discussions in terms of what that's going to look like are waiting in terms of what the catering facilities in the hub are going to look like when it opens in September. The discussions in terms of what the opening hours and that are going to look like in terms of, as well as that spreading that around to the catering outlets on campus elsewhere, is going to take place in the early part of the summer from July and August. And the Students' Union are going to have a big part in contributing to how that's going to look.
I got the magic in me.
The most important thing I'd change is the student input within the Students' Union. Because at the minute the Students' Union is not being used to its full potential. People aren't aware of what's going on. People are coming in asking questions regarding things that they've heard, not what we've told them. So basically, I'd change the way that the SU operates. I'd change the way that people are getting told things, more student input, and things that what students want will get put into place.
My manifesto is that off-campus housing list, because I've been helping my freshers this year looking for student houses, and I narrowly managed to stop one of them going with generally agreed the worst landlord in town. They were about to go sign the next day, so I narrowly managed to stop them doing that. Unfortunately, another I wasn't able to stop them. So I don't want to see any more EdShield students getting messed around by landlords off campus, and then the university doing nothing about it. And I think this student approved list would help that, because then other students would be saying, this guy's good, this guy's no good. Everyone would know who they're going with, who they're not going with when it came to housing. I think that would be the biggest change that I would definitely be fighting for.
I think would be the way that we as a students' union engage with students on campus. With pretty much every campaign we've run over the last year, it's been, we're going to survey students on this and find out what they want, we're going to survey students on that, find out what they want, we're going to run a survey to find out what the students think, and it's just survey, survey, survey. The students' union needs to be more creative in how it engages with the student body. It needs to find new ways to talk to students and get their views and use them in an effective way to make the changes that the students are looking for. So that'd be the main thing that I would change.
I think the main thing I'd change would be sort of the general feeling of like students at EdShield. There's a lot of talk, and there was last year, about the student voice and how we need our voice heard. You know, most people notice mine because it's quite like out there. But it's more a sort of general mumble, like amongst us. I mean, I've seen Billy go around trying to get the surveys done for the housing, and that's great, but the students should be coming to the SU, and they should, you know, it shouldn't be a case of you having to throw things out there. We should engage, but we should go ourselves to get that. It's not the lecturer needs to do this, they need to do that. We should go and make those demands on the things from where we want to get them from. And I think that's a really important thing. We can talk to our course reps about what we want changing, But we never then turn around and say, well, how is that happening? You know, what changes are you making? And you never sort of ask your lecturer, did they listen to the complaints you put forward or the suggestions? You just sort of sit there and do it, you know. We toddle along with our lives and expect that somebody's spoken for us, and I think that's the biggest thing, is to get Edge Hill's SU to talk for itself.
You know I'm no Pinocchio, I never told a lie. So call me Mr. Magic Man, I float on cloud nine.
I think this one comes under the sort of... I don't really know a lot about mature students at the university. I've not had a lot of interaction with them over the last year in terms of as a collective group. I mean, I've had individual students come to me with specific issues about courses and whatever, but not as a collective community. This comes under the how to engage with students better, because in order to first help the mature students at this campus, we have to understand what they need and what their requirements and what their wants are in terms of as a collective group of students. So that comes under the whole finding creative ways to engage with them to find out exactly what it is they want, and how then working out how we can work towards changes that they want and improvements that they need in their academic studies.
I want to change things for mature students. As a history student, I see lots of mature students. It's one thing we have plenty of old farts tend to fill our class quite a lot. And I get on with them very well. And I think the important thing for mature students is to realise that they're actually just young people in older bodies, so to speak, and to treat them sort of the exact same way that we treat them. They refer to us as the kids, and at the end of the day, I went to Miranda last week and I was writing an essay on Margaret Thatcher, and I was born in sort of the year Margaret Thatcher left power, and I never knew anything about her other than reading books. The best thing I found was the fact I could sit down with Miranda and her tell me about the Thatcher government and what it was to live through it. And I think sort of getting the younger students, the kids as they refer to us, to sort of interact with each other is really important, because older people have a lot to give us. It's, they're quite diverse and they have a lot of flavour that they can potentially offer to us, and I think getting them to connect is really important.
Well, I do know several mature students myself. As he says, we're on the same course, so we do have quite a high proportion of mature students on the history course. Wouldn't necessarily refer to them as old farts, but I think it's kind of like what Billy says. It's a problem of how we engage with them, because the mature students have different needs. Generally, they're not living on campus. They're not in shared houses with other people. They're either going to have moved here to live on their own, or they're going to be living in their own houses, possibly with family, possibly with children. So we need to have an open door policy at the union, and so they can come to us, and if they've got an issue that we don't know about, that maybe we're not doing anything about at the moment, because the union's far from all-knowing and infallible. So we need to be, if they have got a problem, they need to be able to come to us and say, this is a problem for me as a mature student. This is something that's not being done because you're too concentrating on halls of residence, you're too looking at the younger students who are all living in shared accommodation. So it needs to be an open door policy at the union, so anyone, mature students or otherwise, can come in and say, I have issues, I have problems. You're not doing anything about it at the moment. So,
as we have societies for different subjects, why not build a society for the mature students, say once a week? Give all the mature students from the faculties, let them meet up, let them discuss problems, issues they've got. One mature student might have an issue that another one's had, and they can resolve things like that. So it's basically just trying to get the mature students together. It's like the parents as well, if they've got children, give them a room to meet once a week. Give different parents, mature students, the chance just to meet, talk about issues, talk about problems, achievements. The thing about mature students is that they come here, they do the lectures, they go home. They don't involve themselves in Freshers Week, really. They're not interested in going out, getting pissed every night. They want to come here to learn, to get a good degree. So if you can get them together, sort out any issues they've got, but put it together as a mature student sort of society, but not like pressure them into joining it. I just think you just need to bring them together, basically.
Like I'm Caesar, I kick it like Adidas, blowing sticky like Ed